Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. Oh my god, it's chaotic here this morning. Honestly, I think I just need to take a moment to breathe. I've got a lot to do today. And at the time of filming this, I actually go away on holiday tomorrow, which I'm very excited about. But I don't think I've ever been so underprepared to go away. I haven't started packing yet. In fact, I don't even know where my suitcase is. I haven't started my wash loads, which I should really be starting. And I haven't started the watering, and that is the thing that always takes so much time. So that's this evening's job. But today I've got a couple of pretty major planty rehab related things that must be done before I go away. And I was just sitting down and I was going to do them off camera, and I was like, you know what? I think I need the calmness of doing things with you guys this morning. I think I quite like to be chatting through things. As I say, just taking a little moment to breathe. And yeah, hopefully it'll be fun, and hopefully I can come away from it feeling like, I don't know, just feeling like it's done to a good standard, because I don't know if anyone else gets this. Sometimes I would just have the temptation to like rush through things very, very quickly when it's just me. So yes, that's the plan for today. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name's Claire and this is Yoli. I make videos all about houseplant care, sharing tips and tricks I've learned over the years to help keep your plants happy and healthy. And yeah, I'm gonna do my best to remain steadily focused this morning and get through things without feeling panicky about them, because as I say, I've got one thing in particular that is literally right behind the camera and staring me in the face, a fairly big rehab that I think might be a little bit tedious. So yep, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good and it's gonna be fine. Whew. But yes, I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. So the main thing that I know needs to be done is this ginormous jade plant that my friend gave to me. As I said in my video the other day, my weird plants video, when I was talking about this one of my friends is leaving the country, he's moving abroad, and he's had this jade plant for years and years and years and years. And I cannot believe how crazy it's grown. I said it at the time, but it kind of reminds me of a bonsai. And it's kind of hard to know where to start with this plant, to be honest, but I think the first thing to do is attempt to get it out of this pot, because this pot has got absolutely no drainage. I can see just from around the side, it has been hoarding water. The soil actually looks very dense and saturated as well. So I'm not sure what the root system's going to look like. Just looking at the plant, I can see, obviously, although it looks kind of cool, it's got lots of bare sections of stem, lots of areas where foliage has fallen off. So I would have thought that perhaps there are issues with the roots, and I don't really know how I'm going to deal with that yet. Oh, and also, I'm literally sat in a pile of mess. I did a Patreon live last night, and I actually got through quite a lot of plant chores in that with my lovely lot over on Patreon, but I have not had a chance to do a clear up. So I've got pon, I've got sphagnum moss, but I'm just going to put my potting mat down on top of that stuff, and we can deal with all of that later. But how are you guys anyway? Are you good? I feel like this has been a little bit of a crazy week. It's funny actually. I said it before. But typically, and I think this is partly just me and who I am, but also partly ADHD, I can sometimes find it so hard to knuckle down and focus, and I get distracted very easily. I get overly ambitious about what I can accomplish. I'll have all of these ideas in my mind, and then actually getting on with them seems near impossible. But when I've got a deadline, or when I've got something coming up that means that I need to remain very focused, I think I get the fear, and the fear scares me into really staying on track, which is probably not a healthy thing. However, oh my god, this is just not budging. However, it does mean that this week, the week before I go away, I have accomplished, oh my god, I've accomplished more than I sometimes do in 2 weeks. It's absolutely crazy. And okay. and I haven't found myself getting that distracted. And I was talking to Emma about this yesterday, and I was like, I wonder how I can try and harness a little bit of this so that when I'm home, again, I can try and keep my focus, because it's a wonderful feeling when you're able to get through lots of things, as I say, without distraction. This is, oh my God. Oh my God. This is all root. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I've got to say, considering this plant has been living in a pot without drainage, and it is a succulent as well, which is typically much more susceptible to issues caused by overwatering. They typically do need very good drainage. I can also see the soil it's in. It hasn't got much grit or sand in it. Considering all of those things, I am amazed that that root system is not perfect, but I'm amazed that it looks as good as it does. I kind of thought I might be unpotting like a really sludgy root system. And actually, I'm not entirely sure what colour Jade plants roots. In fact, I've got one over there. I'm going to grab one of my healthy ones and just take a peek at its roots, just to see what they should look like. Because sometimes they are a little bit darker than you'd think. Bear with me. Realising how many jade plants I've actually got. So this one actually is a variegated jade, but it's kind of reverting. Like, you can see some variegation on the leaves there, which I think is so pretty, but all of this up the top has not been variegated, so I think it needs a chop back. But I'm just going to lift this one out and have a little look if I can. Oh, just knocked off a leaf, which I guess I could propagate, but I've got so many jade plants. I mean, this one's very dry and it's not as rooty, but its roots also do look quite dark. And as I say, considering this is a healthy plant, I feel like that's a pretty accurate representation of what the roots should look like. So maybe I don't need to do too much to this. What I don't want to do, procrastination, what I don't want to do is I don't want to go in there really like brutally breaking the root system apart and put the plant in more of a state of stress than it already is in, because it's obviously incredibly root bound. Like, this plant does need more space to breathe. However, the denseness of the soil that it's currently in, like, I feel like I need to break that up a little bit, because otherwise it's just going to stay very dense and the roots aren't going to spread. So yeah, it's very hard to know what to do here. I think I might just, it's honestly, I cannot even, like, that is just solid. Ooh. No, I don't think that's a good way of doing things. I really wish that this was live right now and you guys could give me some advice, because I'm not sure how to tackle this. Okay, I think I'm gonna just lie the plant down and just see if I can just tease the roots apart ever so slightly. I don't want to break up the whole root system, but just very gently just allow a little bit of space for the roots to spread. Oh, that actually feels like it's working quite well. So yeah, that is what it's potted in. To me, that actually just looks like very cheap kind of outdoor soil, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is. I mean, jade plants are so clearly so hardy. I'm really amazed it's done so well like this. And then I need to think about pruning of this plant, because obviously it is so crazy and wild. And when I showed you it before, I know a lot of you were saying, oh my God, that needs a proper prune back. And I know it does, but there's part of me that also just loves the way it's growing. I know it's not conventional, and I know it's not growing that way because the plant is particularly healthy. But I don't know, I'm kind of reluctant to trim it back. I guess I don't have to trim it back right now. That could be something that comes later. I think the repot is just the main thing that can't really wait. Oh, and actually, as I'm getting in there, there's lots of soil that is just pulling away very nicely at the bottom there, which is good. And I'm tempted actually, not initially, I'm going to keep it inside to start with, but I am tempted to have this as a balcony plant. I don't have nearly as many plants as I would like on my balcony. And I know Jade can survive and actually do quite well outside in a UK environment, which is kind of crazy. Like, you wouldn't think it, but it is obviously just a very robust succulent. But yeah, as I was just saying before I got distracted, I've had a really productive week, and it feels absolutely fantastic, and it's such a rarity for me. Like, usually I'll have I might have a really productive day within a week, but often I'll be working until like 9 o'clock at night because I won't have got done everything I need to get done in the day because I will have just got distracted. And I've tried so many times with like making schedules for myself, and I'll be really good at sticking to them for like the first hour, and then I just find it impossible. I'll find myself on my phone scrolling or doing something completely different. I was saying to Ross actually, and he relates to this as well, but I often will go onto my phone to do something. Like, for example, if I'm making a thumbnail for a video, I might be like, oh, I'd quite like that photo, and I'll go on to get the photo, and then I'll see a notification from WhatsApp or something, and I'll be like, oh, what's that? And then before you know, I'm on Instagram, and then I'm on TikTok, and then it will be half an hour later, and I'm like, okay, right, Claire, work. And I put my phone down, and then I'm like, oh, I went on my phone to do the practical worky thing, and then the loop will begin again. So yeah, it feels very good when you're actually able to kind of stay on the ball and accomplish what you know you're actually capable of. This is the thing, like, I've said it before, but like a lot of the time, I know I'm pretty good on the whole at staying regular with like my upload schedule and stuff. Well, schedule, you know, loose schedule. I try to upload 2 to 3 times a week. Sometimes it'll be a little bit less, but that's my rough kind of plan for it. But sometimes like the level of stress that I get to in order to do it, because I need to make myself stressed if I think I'm actually gonna, I don't know. It's a really hard thing to put into words. But yeah, I know that because today there is so much to do that there is no room for getting distracted, I will probably, I hope, get quite a lot done. I don't know. Yeah, as I say, I've got all of the hanging plants that I need to water. I've got a full shelf over there that I haven't watered. I've got to check on all the bedroom plants. And really annoyingly as well, my big Monstera deliciosa, I found thrips on it 2 days ago. Like really badly. One of the leaves that's up by the grow light, the like big leaf. In fact, I'll tilt you up so you can see, because it is back in its spot. I will explain why in a moment. But yeah, one of those big leaves, I was like, it's looking a little bit brown, and yeah, I pulled the leaf up, turned it over, and I was like, oh my God, thrips. And as I say, it wasn't just 1 or 2, there were adult thrips, there were baby thrips, and I don't really know how I haven't noticed it, to be honest, but that is a plant that typically just kind of, I don't know, doesn't give me much drama and does just kind of look after itself. So I got it through to the bathroom, I gave it a wipe down, I gave it a really good spray, I put it out on the balcony, and it's been out on the balcony for the last couple of days. And then last night I was like, what am I gonna do? Because it's such a big plant. There is no practical place in my flat to isolate it. If we were going away on holiday and the flat was just going to be empty, I'd probably leave it in the middle of the coffee table or something, but my friend's coming to look after Yoli and house sit while we're away, so I was like, it kind of needs to be in its spot. So I went in with Provanto and I bug sprayed the whole thing, which is something that on the whole nowadays I really try not to do. There's many reasons I don't like using harsh chemicals, pesticides on my plants. They're very polluting. There's lots of environmental and health related reasons for the plants and the microbial balance and all of this sort of stuff. There's lots of reasons why I don't typically do it anymore. But yeah, when you're not going to be around to deal with the consequences of things and you're not able to like monitor things, it feels like the right decision to have made. I have got some predatory mite sachets, but I'm just going to make sure to keep them over the other side with my plants, because obviously now if predatory mites go onto that plant, they're also going to die, and I don't want that to be the case. Also, I'm actually breaking up this root system more than I intended to, but now that I've started, it is coming away quite nicely. So I think I'm just gonna keep going. I'm not worried about getting all the soil off, but because this soil is so, like, there's no aeration at all in the soil. Like at the top, it just feels solid. I would love to be able to just kind of infiltrate that a little bit more. But yeah, do let me know, as I say, do let me know in the comments if this was your plant. How would you grow it? Would you prune it? Would you let it just kind of grow wild? There's something very endearing and fun about plants that aren't particularly conventional. Like, I know Sarah Gerard Jones, the plant rescuer, I always love looking at her plants because obviously most of her collection is built up of rescue plants. Because they are rescues and they've come from all sorts of people's collections over the years, they are all very weird and wonderful. And she's got like a yucca that kind of twirls round and lots of weird cacti, and I just think that's really interesting. So yeah, I kind of don't want to mess with this one. Obviously if it's not growing well and it's becoming a little bit sparse and leggy, then I will absolutely give it a prune back. But I have actually got my other jade plants, not this one, the one that I chopped back and treated for mealybugs, I think probably about a month ago now. I did do it in a video. And that one is putting out new growth now. It's growing back beautifully and actually quicker than I thought it would. And I'm just aware that one is going to grow. Oh my God, I've just remembered as well, I've got another jade plant in the bedroom. I've got so many jade plants. But that one's obviously going to grow much more kind of condensed now because it has had such a big haircut. And I'm like, it might be quite nice to have one that just is a bit wild. So yeah, I don't know. I am losing a few leaves here and there. I'm trying to be so gentle, but it is quite a fragile plant. Succulents just are, aren't they? And as I say, like I could absolutely propagate them, and they're so easy to propagate as well. But I've got I've got 4 jade plants. I don't even love the jade plant that much. I think it's a cool plant, but how have I so casually ended up with 4? One's technically Ross's, actually. He got one on the free table from the Scotland plant swap, I think. And yeah, it's growing really, really well in the bedroom, and it's really sizing up. So I guess at some point, in theory, I mean, it would be a little bit crazy, but in theory, could pot them all together. I've never seen them growing straight out of the ground. I've only ever seen them, I think, as pot plants, at least in the UK. I was just imagining like a garden bed full of jade. That would look amazing. That would look so cool. Oh. It really is just this big top disc of soil that is the toughest to get through. But really, that's the bit that I want to get into more than anything else, just because it is so dense. The soil can become quite hydrophobic, and even if there is going to be good soil beneath this plant now, oh no, I'm snapping off loads of it, careful Claire. Even if there is going to be good soil beneath the plant now, I don't want, when I water it, I don't want the water just like bouncing off. So yeah, I also don't know what I'm going to pot this in. It's going to need something weighty to kind of hold it down, because this is such a heavy plant. I don't even know if I've got anything. Oh my god, why am I leaving everything to the last minute? I've been looking at this plant for days thinking I need to do something to it, and I just haven't got around to it. It's just thinking I'm going to miss Yoli when I'm away. I always miss her. But oh my god, there is nothing better than getting back to your dog or your pet, like just any pet. Nothing better than coming back to them at the end of a holiday and they're so excited to see you. It's funny to think actually, because obviously Yoli was a Greek rescue. It's Greece that I'm going to. That she's actually, I mean, she hasn't been to the island that I'm going to, but that she's been to Greece. Or that she was born in Greece, sorry. I often think about just how far Yoli's come, because I remember seeing photos of her at the shelter before I got her, and oh, bless her heart, she was just a little wisp of a thing. She was so thin. I mean, I think it's not to do with the fact that they don't look after their dogs, because they're very good over there. The shelter that I got her from are absolutely brilliant. But I just don't think they have the funding, the facilities to be able to look after so many dogs when people are literally dumping puppies there left, right and centre. So yeah, even like looking back at pictures when she first arrived in the UK, she was just, oh, she was like a whole different dog, and she was so nervous as well. Yeah, I always have like little proud mum moments, like when I look at her playing with her doggy friends, which she's just started to do, which is so exciting. Or just like, I don't know, walking nicely past a man with a bag. Just, I mean, the little things, but it just makes me feel so proud of her. Okay, I think this is the best I'm gonna do. I've really, really tried, but I don't want to damage too much root. There is obviously still a big chunk of soil there, but I have freed up so many roots. So now I just need to look at which pot I have that will be suitable for this one. It actually doesn't need a very big pot. In fact, giving it a massive pot would probably just be more likely to overwhelm the roots. But yeah, I need to find a decent pot for it, and something weighty that it can sit in as well, so it isn't going to topple over. Honestly, I wish I could try and explain just how heavy this plant was. It is so dense. Like, look at those trunks. It's literally like a little tree. Right, into the cupboard of chaos. Let's see what we've got. It's really hard, actually, to know what to choose for this plant. I'm just trialing this. I mean, because at the top, that looks like it's going to be too small. Maybe I need to try and break some more soil away. But even with this, I don't have a heavy pot that's going to be able to like make a sturdy base. Oh, back into the cupboard. Okay, I found a pot that I think will probably... Oh, you know what? I was was going to say probably be suitable, and then maybe I can use the pot it was in before as a cover pot. Oh my goodness. So this is, I think, probably about a 15 centimetre pot, but it's quite shallow, like it's not as tall as some 15 centimetre pots, which I think will probably, yes, that will work well for that one. And then, as I say, I can use that as its heavy base, because my God, that pot is actually really heavy. This is in fact one that my friend got off me back when I first started the TheJungleHaven shop, which was about 4 years ago now, which is crazy. Okay, right, soil. The other thing that I also need to do after creating all of this chaos is I need to have a massive tidy up before my friend that's looking after Yoli comes round, so that it's not chaos. I feel like today's going to be one of those days where there's just not enough hours in the day. Also, I know I should be using a bigger bowl to mix things up. I need to get a bigger bowl. This is actually just a salad bowl. But that's what we've got. So what I'm going to do, I don't have as much grit and sand as I would like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use base mix. I'm going to use the sand that I've got, which actually is a fair amount, but not huge. And then I'll probably just mix in some semi-hydro, just to help with drainage, because, as I say, this is a succulent. And it can be so susceptible. I mean, clearly actually not that susceptible because it's done amazingly well as is, but it can be very susceptible to rot. So yeah, lots of good drainage. I've also brought over, ooh, oh no, because I've also brought over some worm castings, because I thought that would be good for nutrition. Ooh, I've just opened the box and they're going mouldy. Do I just scrape the mould off and use them? I don't know. Oh, I don't know. This feels like a Googling moment. Bear with. Okay, apparently just because it's organic matter, it can be completely normal. And it seems safe to use, so perfect. I am just gonna bin the top layer of that because that does not look good, and apart from anything, I don't want that in the air in my house. But yeah, let's do that and then we can go ahead and use it. Perfect, I do hope we're just left with the good stuff now. Say just a little bit of nutrients because this poor plant, I'm guessing, has not been fertilised for like 6 years. So no wonder, bless it, it's looking very malnourished. So I'm just going in with some chunky semi-hydro and then some sand, and this should be a lovely mix for it. Obviously the soil it's been in has really kind of had the plant very wedged in place, so I hope, oh, like, see, that is, oh my God, that is so not sturdy. Hopefully this will be enough. Obviously give it a really good water through after this as well. Okay. Perfect. I feel like it's not completely straight. It might have turned a little bit. But I guess it will just kind of adjust as it starts to grow again. And then, yeah, although this isn't perfect, the fit in this pot, it will do the job and is going to hold it securely, which is the main thing. Oh, fantastic. Okay, so that is the biggest job ticked off the list. That's the thing that I thought could take hours and actually got through that pretty quickly. I'm feeling pretty good. That was something that I was really worried about, so perfect. And before we carry on, I'm just quickly going to change my camera battery because it is about to die. And I think I'm just going to have a big clean up at the end. I don't think I'm going to worry about doing it now. But the next thing that's kind of the other thing that's probably a little bit desperate before I go away is my Alocasia heterophylla, my Alocasia dragon's breath. Look how beautiful it is. It's just given me that gorgeous new leaf that is still kind of sizing up. I do think it's going to be bigger than that one. And this one I got at the RHS Festival in Malvern, and it was a teeny tiny plant. It had a teeny tiny root system, and I put it in semi-hydro in this jar, and just look at its roots. They're absolutely crazy. And it could absolutely go on like this probably for another month or two. It would be very root bound, but it could go on like this if there was someone like monitoring it daily and making sure that it was like receiving water. But currently, especially with the weather being so warm, it's drying up. It's literally drying up every day, every couple of days. And I'm worried that this plant will not survive if I don't change it up. So I was just going through the cupboard of chaos and I found this, which only has semi-hydro in it. It's just a jar that's a little bit bigger than the one it's in at the moment. I'm not going to break its root system up too much, but I think I'd just like to size it up a little bit so it's got a little bit more room to play with, and hopefully I won't be coming home to any issues. The other thing I want to do when I get home is my Monstera dubia. I know I've been saying for ages I'm going to chop it. I am absolutely going to chop it. The decision is made. But it's got a big long stretch of growth. Big long stretch of growth that needs to be kind of like air layered. Oh, this is actually trickier than I thought. Needs to be air layered a bit before I go away so that hopefully the aerial roots can start pushing out, and then when I get back it will be easier to deal with. Also, this is the only annoying thing about using jars. Obviously the root system stretches to the size of the bottom, and then if it's got a ring around the neck, I really don't want to damage the roots. I said it the other day, but my alocasias are just really, really exciting me at the moment. I've added quite a few new types to my collection over the last few months, and again, I know I said it before, but like it's not like I ever fell out of love with Alocasia. I've always loved it as a genus, but I feel like the spark for it has just kind of reignited recently, and I've got so many Alocasias on my wish list at the moment. Oh, we're getting there now. Kind of thinking as well, it's got these two bottom leaves. That one's starting to turn. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but that one could probably be trimmed back. And the other one as well, I think, is probably on its way out. I'm not sure if I should trim them back before I go or not. Whoa. Those are such good roots. Wow. Right. can see that was getting ready to go. I know I said it in a video the other day, and I'm obviously not going to have time to do this. Definitely not going to have time to do this before I need to leave, but I've been keeping leaves like to one side and using them as stamps, and I want to try putting them on like t-shirts and stuff because I think it'd be quite fun. I'm sure there will be more leaves lost to come home to though. I'm hoping there's not going to be too much drama. The main thing at this time of year that always really concerns me is the heat. But obviously I have got someone, luckily got someone here to kind of open windows and stuff. Open my cabinet if it gets too warm as well. But yeah, perfect. Obviously I will top up the reservoir. That is done. And weirdly enough, although I've actually trimmed back a leaf, putting it in a larger container just somehow makes it feel like a bigger plant. I've said that before as well, like sometimes getting a plant onto a moss pole is, I don't know, it just makes it feel like it's matured from teenage to adulthood. But perfect. Oh, I'm so excited about this one. And then the other thing that I brought over to do this one, so this one actually isn't desperate. This isn't like needing doing immediately, but I've got this Hoya and I cannot for the life of me remember what the name of it is. I know that I know it. It's in there somewhere. I think it begins with maybe an M. But I've got this beautiful Hoya that's putting out new growth there. And Emma also had the same type of Hoya. And she basically doesn't want hers anymore. So I was like, maybe I'll pot them together. And because this one's got such a lovely long tendrily bit, I have got somewhere a spare trellis to hand. I was like, I could get it onto a trellis before I go, and maybe when I get back, oh, here it is, it will be giving me some lovely growth. I know I said it in my video the other day where I put my Hoya caudata Sumatra and Hoya caudata hook on a trellis, but I have often in the past been a little bit reluctant to put Hoyas on trellises, and all of a sudden I can feel a new obsession coming on. I'm really quite excited about it. So yeah, I also am gonna, so I only watered this one the other day, so it is gonna still be quite damp. I am gonna just use the same, oh yay, nice roots, the same substrate because I only changed this out, I don't know, not that long ago. Mix it in with what was already in here for the jade plant. Yeah, this one's got lovely roots as well, actually. Can you see? It's gorgeous. Oh, and just uncovered here, this one's actually starting to put up new growth from another point in the soil as well. Can you see that little bit just there sticking up? Oh yay, hopefully I can get this going as a lovely full plant soon then. Because this one has been very slow for me. I got it at the beginning of the year. And I think actually, if I remember correctly, I got it, I was sent it actually by one of you guys. I got it as a 2-leaf cutting and I lost one of the leaves pretty much instantly. It was just down to cold damage, as I say, it was very cold. And it's given me 3 kind of little leaves, but I think I could have been doing more to keep this plant happy. So this is the start of putting it on a good track and hopefully getting some beautiful growth out of it, because I would love this to grow as a gorgeous full plant. So yeah, I don't think it's going to need a huge pot. In fact, I could fit the trellis in the size pot it's actually been in, and I think that would work. Let me just check to see that I've got a heavy base, because this one absolutely will need one. Perfect, yeah, I've got several heavy pots in this size, and I know that's a little bit big, but it won't really matter. So yeah, I might just mix up a little bit more soil. You know what I do want to put in there actually? Tree fern fibre. I am loving tree fern fibre for Hoyas at the moment. Yeah, one of you was telling me recently that apparently the quickest way to get Hoyas to root is in tree fern fibre. And I, at the time, had only used tree fern fibre for anthuriums. How bizarre, my camera just died, even though I've just changed the battery. I'm not sure where that cut me off, but I was talking about tree fern fibre, and I was saying that previously I had only used tree fern fibre for my mixes with anthuriums. Also, I'm thinking I might pot size up a little bit just because I think this will be fine. I think this will be fine. So yeah, it's something that I only started playing about with Hoyas really quite recently, and they have responded really, really well. So yeah, I'm going to do a really nice chunky mix for this one. Got lots of bark here as well. It's like bark for Hoyas. In fact, I think that probably, I know that's like probably 50% bark. God, that smells amazing. But I think that probably should be enough. I'm actually going to put this into the pots just to hold it steady as I work with it. Very careful of that new little bit of growth. That's so exciting. Oh, I wonder if it'll have started doing anything when I get back. Okay, fabulous. And I'm just gonna, oh, in fact, I've got string right here. I was gonna say, I'm just gonna get some string. This bit here, this one isn't kind of tendriling. I chopped this one to take a cutting to propagate. So I'm hoping it will start kicking into action again soon. However, this other bit that Emma gave me, as I say, is beautiful. I'm going to wrap that round. Yeah, as I say, I have been told by a few people that the anti-clockwise thing is just a myth, but I've literally seen Hoyas tendriling anti-clockwise, and I'm like, surely it's counterintuitive to then wind them clockwise in a direction that they're not naturally going to go. So yeah, it's what I always do, and I know several other kind of people I would consider to be Hoya experts that also do it this way, so I'm following them. Perfect. Yay! Oh, you know what? That looks so gorgeous. Look at them together. Doesn't that look pretty? This one is just such a beautiful plant. Yay! Right, okay, so that's everything immediate, besides just going around with my watering can and just doing like a general sweep, which I'm not going to do on camera because I think it's going to be more hassle than it's worth. But that is everything that I wanted to get done this morning. The Jade plant was top priority, and the fact that I've got the Alocasia done and that on a trellis as well is just, it's a bonus. So thank you guys so much for keeping me company. I so hope that if you were doing stuff as well, you got lots done. And when I finish this video, I am officially on my holidays, so I'm very excited. Sadly, I think you'll probably be watching this video just as I'm getting back. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful week, whatever you're doing. I hope you, your plants, your pets stay happy and well. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video.
Stay sexy, plant lovers.